the fifth regular session of the General Assembly of the United Nations. Fellow delegates, I welcome you to this fifth session of the General Assembly. Hopefully, to build for peace. Today, we are gathered at a desperate hour to save the peace of the world. Men will hang upon the words we speak here. Yet experience will have taught them that mere words are a cruel mockery, while men are dying for the sake of peace and the United Nations. They have a right to expect more, much more than words. Not by what we say, but by what we do here, shall their anxiety be allayed and their faith restored.
Government which, with a reasonable expectancy of permanence, actually exercises control over the territory of that member and commands the obedience of its people. Recognizing that the central government of the People's Republic of China is the only such government functioning in the Republic of China as now constituted, decides that the aforesaid central government, through its head, or its Minister for Foreign Affairs, or its accredited representatives, as the case may be, shall be entitled to represent the Republic of China in the General Assembly, and recommends that the other organs of the United Nations adopt similar resolutions. Mr. President, I am well aware that it is unusual, not to say unprecedented, for the General Assembly to deal with a resolution at so early a stage. But the
Советская делегация меня уполномочила взять слово до того, как Генеральная Ассамблея приступит к своей органической работе по тому же вопросу, который здесь изложил делегат Индии, господин Рау, низвергнутого в стране политического режима. Ни в каком случае основанием к тому, чтобы оставить вопрос, поставленный советской делегацией, поставленный делегацией Индии, без рассмотрения. Господин Рау поставил...
Mr. President, fellow delegates, since it is the set purpose of certain delegations to force upon the United Nations the puppet regime of Peking, my delegation is ready to meet the challenge, and to meet that challenge as early as possible in this session of the Assembly. I represent the only legal government in China. My government is based on a constitution passed by the representatives of the Chinese people only 3 years ago. My government is headed by a president elected by the representatives of the Chinese people. The political responsibility of the government resides.
Fellow delegates, I have risen to oppose the motion which is before you. That motion is the motion presented by the Chief Delegate of India. I wish to urge upon this Assembly, first, that it should vote upon this resolution at once, and secondly, that it should vote the resolution down. Now, there are many reasons which I might give for opposing the resolution, but I shall be very brief and shall put the opposition on what I think is the sound and unanswerable ground, which is the need for orderly procedure and the overwhelming necessity of getting on to the organization of this assembly and the transaction of the vital business which lies before it along the lines which our president has indicated, is to vote down this resolution and do it quickly. Organize this assembly and get on with its work. And in the course of this assembly, there will be plenty of opportunity to consider the criteria which should be used in determining which of two claimant regimes to seat in the United Nations. The Cuban delegation has put on our agenda a resolution for doing exactly that. There are many orderly ways for adding to that investigation if the Assembly wishes to do so. In that way, the matter can be carefully considered. It can be considered without days and days or weeks of debate before we can get on with our other business here, and a proper and well-considered decision can be made later on. So without taking your time further, let me urge upon my fellow delegates here two courses. One is, vote upon this resolution now. Do not let's postpone it and drag the matter out. Vote on it now and vote it down. Thank you.
Подтвердить ту свою тогдашнюю правоту очень авторитетными свидетельствами и документами. Ну, например, я могу сослаться на бывшего главнокомандующего американскими войсками в Китае генерала Стилуэлла, который американцев писал.
The result of the vote on the Indian resolution. Haiti announces its vote is no instead of absent. The result of the vote on the Indian resolution, draft resolution, 16 in favor, 33 against, 10 abstentions. The draft resolution is therefore defeated.
Canada accepts it.
Number of ballot papers, 59. Number of abstentions, none. Number of invalid ballots, none. Number of valid ballots, 59. Therefore, the required simple majority for election is 30. Votes have been cast as follows. Mr. Entezan, 32. Sir, 120. Mr. Siroki, 4. Mr. Vevglos, 1. The chair called on the elected president, 5th, to come.